Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we might be seeing Darwinism in action here. We've got the staff of the WGA, which is the Writers Guild Union in Hollywood, going on strike against the union itself. Are you following this?
We did a video on this before that they were talking about going on strike, and now they're going on strike.
Now they're going on strike, and this is a few weeks ahead of them having to go back for negotiations again with AmpTip, which would be the producers and the studios, and now their own staff is striking against them. And the last time this happened, it decimated Hollywood. They had the double strikes, and NPR had this article in 2024. They said this time last year, Hollywood writers were on strike. Now many can't find work, but this is not the union proper. This is the union's own employees. This is
the
crazy.
staff, the union staff. The staff inside the union are now striking against the union, who strikes against AmpTip all the time.
This is wild. So this is not, look, if I were the studios, right, and you're trying to hose people, you're going to look at this and be like, your own staff doesn't even like you. They don't even want to work with you.
Strikeception.
Strikeception. Yeah, that's what it is. It's strikeception. So we're gonna talk about this. This is not gonna end well. I think this might be one of the last rounds of negotiations that Hollywood unions have just in general, because it's getting to a place where, one, their demands get more and more ridiculous, and I think it's because of the fear of AI. But two, they're also more easily replaced because of AI. And you're going to get people that don't necessarily have to work in Hollywood. They don't have to be part of the union, and they don't have to go through the what has been the proper channels for years. And they're freaking out. A lot of people are moving out of Hollywood. This isn't going to help their case any. I'm just saying. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
So yeah, just to remind you, a couple of years ago, double strikes in Hollywood, and that did more damage, I think, to Hollywood than anything in recent history. I mean, everything
we said was going to happen. We said you're demanding the moon, you're going to get some of what you want. Those that when you get what you want, there's not going to be as many of you. You're going to get some of what you want, but there's not going to be as many jobs, and that's exactly what happened.
And people said we were, haters and bigots and Nazis and studio
you
shills.
wanted to punch people and all
we
that
wanted
crap.
to punch people for all this stupid low IQ shit. No, we just said, look, cause and effect. You ask for more money when the studios are contracting their spends because they overspent on streaming, and you're asking to be laid off. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's not a debate about what's right or wrong. It's just a reality.
But they were trying to, the WGA, actually, I've got not so fresh feelings for the WGA over SAG-AFTRA. SAG-AFTRA I'll actually give more of a pass to. The WGA, though, they were ridiculous. They're the ones that wanted, we had to have 12 writers in the writer's room for a show that only had 6 episodes. They were bullying Drew Barrymore. Who the hell bullies Drew Barrymore? They were bullying Drew Barrymore for resuming her show, even though she didn't have the writers on staff. She's like, I got other people I got to pay. And they bullied her, and they bullied Bill Maher, and they bullied all these people that were still playing by the rules. They weren't crossing the picket line. They weren't using writers.
Right. But they weren't doing anything they weren't supposed to do. Yeah.
Right. And they had to honor their contracts, especially if you have a daytime TV show. It's a different kind of a deal. And she's like, yeah, I can't have my people let go. But they bullied her, and literally bullied her into tears. And so, yeah, I'm not feeling it, right? And I got to wonder how this is going to play out. So this is coming from Variety. WGA staff goes on strike weeks ahead of AmpTip negotiations. God, this is insane. They're eating each other. The staff of the WGA West went on strike on Tuesday, accusing leadership of the union of breaking labor laws. The strike will affect about 100 of the 150 staffers, so like 2/3 of the staff. At the union, the workers represented by the Pacific Northwest Staff Union voted to authorize a strike last month after talks broke down. The Writers Guild Staff Union, the union within the union, this is so weird, has called an unfair labor practice strike in protest of ULPs committed by Writers Guild of America West Management. Guild management has surveilled workers for union activity, terminated union supporters, and engaged in bad faith surface bargaining, showing no intention to come to an agreement on most of our core issues.
Yeah, but then they're going to scream here shortly that, the AmpTip's doing the same to them.
So, okay, let me get this straight. So the union within the union is accusing they're accusing them of union busting, the union within the union.
Yes, the union of that represents the staff of the WGA is accusing the WGA of union busting activity.
This is like, I swear to God, this is like an episode of Seinfeld.
You
or
can't
something.
make this shit up, basically.
Or Curb My Enthusiasm or something. It's like, oh my God, Jerry, the union within the unions striking against that. It's like, what the hell? This is insane. The move comes a month before the WGA is due to sit down with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers to begin bargaining for a new contract. The union leadership said that it expects bargaining to go on as normal despite the strike. Oh, well, we're just going to step right over you, just like the studios step right over.
Well, the kicker was they like let them unionize. Like they accepted the union last year or whatever for the staff. The Writers Guild, accepted that they wanted to unionize and said no problem. But as soon as they have to do a contract, it all goes to shit. And then they're right ahead of when they're going to go ask for the moon.
So this is right up there with like when they brought a bunch of activists into tech and into Hollywood. And they were like, oh, yeah, these people are on board with us. And it turned out that they were like we weren't exactly speaking the same language because they started protesting against the company and trying to dictate the terms. Yeah, this is what happens when you got people that are always looking for, grievances or whatever. But that's the culture. It's literally a union trying to, what I'm saying, it's insane.
You would think that union who's always complaining and saying that they're being mistreated would treat their people better. But I love this. So members of the staff union began picketing outside of WGA West on Tuesday, carrying signs like, it's giving amp tip, WGA live your labor values. Scabby the Rat, a large inflatable mascot that is familiar sight on picket lines, was parked at 3rd Street and Fairfax Avenue.
Okay, so I got to stop right there. And people are like, you're anti-union. I've never been in a union. I don't think I would ever join a union. This is the first time I've heard of Scabby the Rat.
Apparently it's a thing.
Is that like Chuck E. Cheese?
No.
Like Scabby the Rat? Oh,
that's
man.
Scabies the Rat. I don't know.
Scabies the Rat.
Scabby the Rat. There's just been no real engagement from them to us, said Missy Brown, the co-chair of the bargaining committee. She said that at the last negotiation session, it was just very apparent there was no more movement from management. And again, these are the same people who want to strike, are probably going to strike again, or demanding the moon, and demanded the moon last time, like ridiculous asks.
Okay.
And then they can't even do bare minimum apparently for the union within the union.
Okay, but so what if they're like, hey, amp tip, we can't negotiate with you because, our own people are striking against us. So
well, they apparently said that it's not going to impact it. But if I was the amp tip, I'd be like, well, you're one to talk,
I absolutely would use that against you. I'd be like, you know what? When you get your own house in order, you come back to us. Because right now, ChatGPT is looking pretty damn good. That's what they're going to do. I guarantee you they're going to use this as leverage.
But you know what? It's okay. The 50 people who aren't on strike are the ones that are associated with the negotiating committee. In a statement to the Guild's website, the WGA said that they will continue to bargain in good faith with staff while the staff says you aren't. And the union also stated that AMP negotiations in particular will be minimally impacted since the executive staff and managers who play key roles working directly with the WGA negotiating committee will not be on strike. So the 50 people who aren't on strike are the managers and executive staff. So it's the underlings.
How many damn people do you need running a union? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
Apparently a lot.
I mean, I get that they probably have to traffic all the all the invoices and stuff coming in from, but I get it, and the payouts and all that. But I'm like, 150 people taking a chunk of your paycheck.
Well, they're probably paying like, this group runs like, the medical, it's like that, the insurance, and this group runs, this arm of this and that arm of that. So it probably breaks down that it's.
This group goes to Drew Barrymore's house with a crowbar and says, hey, bitch, shut your show down.
Well, the writers that she did have didn't go back or whatever. Didn't stop her.
No, I mean, she was really this is like, my God.
She was just trying to keep her other people paid.
Right, which is very respectable. And I can't believe they wouldn't even. And she said, we don't have writers. We're not as good. Bill Maher, same thing. He's like, I don't have my writers. I'm not as good. But, the show must go on. And there was zero sympathy. They bullied her. I mean, that did a lot of damage, I think, for the WGA. I was just like, and then they're trying to blacklist people too. They accused them of writing during the strike.
Yes.
And they revoked their membership and they blacklisted people. And there's one guy's like, he was suing them, and I think it was Adam Conover actually was one of the guys that was involved in that shit.
Oh, I'm sure it was. If it was something skeezy, it was probably Adam. I'm sorry. He's Scabby the
He
rat.
ruins everything. He's Scabby the rat. So this is not gonna go well for these guys. I'm telling you right now. Not the guys within the union. I don't know what their complaints are, but just the union itself. Like I said, if I were a studio and I were looking for the best possible deal, I'd be like, you can't even get your own shit in order. You can't even treat your own people well. Why do we have to deal with you?
Yeah, it's like if you're doing something that is questionable, you can't go demand other people treat you better. You know what I mean? You
Right.
can, but people are gonna question it. They're gonna the public, the general opinion, public opinion is not gonna be in their favor.
Yeah, I think this is insane. So the WGA West has denied the allegations of bad faith bargaining, but said in a statement that respects the staff's right to strike. Well, yeah, what are you supposed to do? Like, you're a union that goes on strike at the drop of a hat, and you're going to tell your own people they're not allowed to go on strike? Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously. What'll happen is they won't get the deal they're hoping for from AMP Tip. They'll have to lay people off. And guess who's getting laid off first? I'm just saying that's what's going to happen.
It was interesting because you go up above a little bit, and they were talking about they have an awards thing they do. They said that they usually have an annual awards on March 8th, but there's no word on whether the event would be affected. Well, do you remember what happened with like premieres and award stuff during their strikes? You were allowed to show up. Nobody even related. If you showed up, then you were a bad person. So if anybody shows up to anything like that the WGA is doing, then you're a bad person too.
You were not allowed to even go to San Diego Comic-Con just to go. Jamie Lee Curtis got attacked for going to San Diego Comic-Con to support her kid. Her kid was doing a comic book to support her kid, and they attacked her. She wasn't promoting a movie or anything, but they were like, how dare you?
Like other people like Zach Levi and stuff were at cons, and they were allowed to talk about anything they worked on or whatever in the past because it could be under their whatever. So I'm like, if they do have their awards show, it's in bad taste because you guys were ones having a fit if anybody participated in anything, involving Hollywood at all when it was the AMP Tip and stuff. You were mad about that.
Yeah.
So you can't really do that. If you do, then you're a hypocrite.
You're a hypocrite, man. I don't know. This is wild.
I mean, hypocrite and Hollywood are synonymous, but you know what I mean.
So they said among the core function of the guild are collecting dues and paying out residuals. Okay, so that's what they do. They said they think that they're just going to rely on the middle managers to run the whole thing. Wouldn't it be ironic if they turned to AI to run that, all that
if
shit?
If they do, the AMP Tip's going to wipe the floor with them because
Oh
like,
my
you
God,
don't get
that'd
to
be
demand,
hilarious.
You don't, because one of the things I guess that people were striking about was AI. It's like you don't get to demand protections for you, but then don't give protections to the people that are in the union underneath you.
Yeah. So they were picketing a member meeting at the Sheraton Universal Hotel last week. God, this is insane. I just like, they said, yeah, we never would have guessed that we'd be so far apart, and it felt like we were speaking different languages. Well, now you know how it feels on the other side of the bargaining table, don't you? I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, so WGA published, go back up. They published a side-by-side outline of the two sides' position, and then the union within the union published their own chart. But remember how mad they were when it got leaked about like what, Hollywood wanted and what they wanted, and it was like, got leaked out there and people were mad because like, why'd this get leaked?
Yeah.
But now they're doing the same kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so they wanted to give them minimum of $57,000 a year, which isn't very much in California. I mean, I'll be real, it's not very much in California. $59,000 is what they wanted. Yeah, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And look, it's inside baseball. I just think it's kind of hilarious to see this breakdown happen right before, and they knew what they were doing. I guarantee you the employees knew what they were doing. Like, oh yeah, well, we got to get our house in order before we go to the studios. And if I were a studio head, I'd just be like, this is hilarious. They're eating each other alive.
Yeah,
good luck with that.
But I guess so. Yeah, the reason this is just West is because East are represented by a different union.
Yeah,
they're actually represented by the Steelworkers Staff Union,
which is really interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, you can't say you don't have a right to strike when you're in the business of going on strike, right?
I know.
I think what's going to happen.
Let's see how it bites them in the ass.
I think it's absolutely going to bite them in the ass, and I think we are looking at potentially the last round of negotiations, because now they're talking that they might want to do a 5-year agreement.
But they don't want to do that. The AMP Tip does, but the SAG-AFTRA and the WGA said they don't want that because they think it's going to leave them that things change as fast as it's changing, that things that they might not foresee could get through. Like if they agree to this 5-year plan and something with AI comes up, that's not something they could foresee because it's moving so quickly. In like 4 years, they'll be stuck with that contract.
Well, that's what the studios are counting on, and that's what they want. But
I know.
the flip side is the studios are in a position now where they actually have more leverage. But this reminds me what happened with Bill Nye the Science Guy, where he basically signed away all of his rights to the home video of his show, and then he couldn't foresee streaming.
Right. And then it was Disney. It was Disney,
yeah.
So they could keep it on streaming and not pay him residuals because that would be considered outside the realm of,
Physical
because we
media.
don't, yeah. So everything's changing because a lot of the problems they have is used to be residual contracts, and now we're not having that because with streaming and all this other stuff, it's so different now that the contracts are all different, and that's what happened. But yeah, I thought about that too, actually.
So there we go, guys. We're going to watch this because this could be like a strike within a strike within a strike. And I don't think Hollywood's as afraid as they were before. I think they're kind of, actually part of me is thinking it's kind of Machiavellian. I think they're counting on it. They're like, let them strike, let them come, let them.
I don't know. I just think you can't go on strike and demand the moon when you're not even willing to, you're supposedly, like, if it's true that you're trying to strike, union bust, then that's a problem. If true.
If true. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're going to wrap it up.
Yes.
All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.